What's up guys? Today's video is the third episode in my Roblox lore series. I'll be taking a look at some more lore this time, as well as addressing a lot of comments which I've gotten on both of my previous lore videos. I'd like to say right now, right off the bat, that I'm really grateful for the support you guys have given me on those previous two videos. If you haven't watched them yet, I would suggest going and doing that first, because if you want to know what's going on with the Roblox lore, those videos will introduce you to that. You might not understand a lot of the stuff being talked about in this video without watching those ones first. So for a bit of a recap, the first video was sort of an introduction to the series, where I talked about Roblox lore in a general sense, as well as the creation of Robloxia. And the second one was more about the properties of the universe Roblox takes place in. So like, who made it, what is it made of, what does it look like? I'll not only be adding upon these sections in today's video, but also introducing you to some more Roblox concepts for the lore. In the next video, I'll be talking about the inhabitants of Robloxia, like the Overseers, for example. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So first off, I'd like to have a look at some pretty interesting theories which you guys have commented about. So this first person's theory is basically that Robloxians are people who survived a war and an apocalypse, and that the different games of Roblox represent different portions of Robloxia. Now, I agree with that second part. I do think that Meep City, Prison Life, and Reason to Die don't contradict the main Roblox lore at all, so they're canon. And I do think they exist somewhere within the Roblox universe. As for the theory that Robloxians are the aftermath of a war and an apocalypse, I think the main thing pushing me away from that conclusion is the evidence. We already have the creation story of Robloxia, which tells how everything was made. That being said, neither it or any other lore bits that I know of hint at modern Roblox being the aftermath of an apocalypse or war. So the problem here is evidence. I will say though, I do believe Minecraft takes place after some sort of apocalypse. If you enjoy the Roblox lore videos, you might enjoy my video on the Minecraft lore of the Mushroom Islands. So now this other guy's theory is that Roblox is a toy bin or some sort of toy set that somebody's playing with. So if this theory is to be believed, all the scripting in Roblox is just imaginative and is not actually real. All the players are toy figures, and Robloxia itself is just a playset. Now, if you told me this theory in 2008, I'd probably believe you, but Roblox is a much more realistic and complicated game now. And I think there's a few things that disprove this. The first is the creation story, which does not mention anything related to that. And the second, I would say, is actually the addition of smooth terrain into Roblox. You see, back during the 2000s, when Roblox was first made, all the worlds were made basically of interlocking bricks, which you might call stud bricks, Lego bricks, etc. But now Roblox is making the game way more realistic. They've got new terrain textures, new lighting, and I think for the theory that this is a toy bin to be considered, we would need some more tangible evidence. Most of my theories I've presented so far, like material evolution and themed planets, they've all had some sort of evidence behind them, or they fit well into what we already know about Roblox lore. This next comment theorizes something similar to the previous comment. So it again basically states that Roblox is some sort of Lego-like place where people are controlling everything and building whatever they want. As I said, I would sort of believe this if not for the modern Roblox realism, which is what leads me to believe it's not just some kid's imagination. There would also need to be, again, some sort of evidence for this theory, which there isn't much of as of now. This comment is a question asking how many gods of Robloxia exist, and if those gods would be the admins. And then if the admins are gods, what would that make the creators? Okay, so let's examine each of these questions. Now, as of right now, I don't know the specific number of gods that exist in Roblox. I personally think that there are the creators, which are nothing and light, that's who made Robloxia, and then there are the gods, which are sort of the all-seeing powers over Roblox. So they're sort of like physical entities with divine powers, while the creators are like the makeup of Robloxia, but are sentient themselves as well. Now, these gods have control over their respective fields, but I doubt they would be as powerful as Nothing and Light. I also personally think that they were created during the formation of Robloxia. Now, from scouring the catalog, I found Poseidon, the god of the sea. I found Zeus, god of the sky, and a few custom ones Roblox made, like Crimsonen, who's the ruby god, Crystello, the god of crystals, and sacred caves, and Erisifia, who's the goddess of the sun. So that's just who I managed to come across so far. There's probably more in the catalog that I just have not come across as of now. If I do come across some more gods in the Roblox catalog, then I'll be sure to mention them in an upcoming video. I personally don't think that the admins of Roblox are gods. In fact, I don't really think anyone in our world really exists with some sort of authority over Roblox within the lore. But sort of unrelated, I recently figured out that John Shedletsky is a character within the Roblox lore. So yeah, Shedletsky's actually a canon character within Roblox. So you can think of that as you will. Adding on to this person thinks that maybe the mythological gods, so like Crystello, Poseidon, etc., were made up by the Robloxians to explain different natural phenomena, similar to mythological gods of our own planet, and that the true gods are actually the platform developers and game developers. Now, this is definitely possible. This would mean that Roblox takes place in a simulation, which there isn't a whole lot of physical proof for, but we can't rule this out, and it's actually a pretty believable theory. So this person wonders if Roblox will ever make a game talking about the lore. Now, I personally feel that if Roblox were to make a game or something straight up telling us the lore, it would sort of ruin it a bit. I've found that there's a bit of a conundrum when it comes to lore and storylines of any sort of media, like movies, books, games, etc. Now, when you're left in the dark to a lot of what's going on, there's a nice mystery aspect. You get to make up your own theories. Everybody gets to chime in on what they think's going on. And it's fun to search for like different clues and hints that give you a sort of an idea of what's going on, but don't tell you the whole storyline. Now, this is what I like about Roblox. The mystery aspect of the lore. Once you know the backstory to something, that mystery aspect sort of dissolves immediately, and there's not much left to talk about. I really like the current approach of Roblox lore. It's quite unique in that it's very hidden, and you'll basically only come across Roblox lore if you deliberately go searching for it, which is what I did. Otherwise, I probably would not have found out about it by random chance. This sort of mysterious lore, where you only get certain hints of what's going on, is what I like about games like Minecraft and Carnivores, which I've talked about both on my channel before. Alright, so those were some interesting comments concerning different theories and questions people have. So now I'm gonna dabble into some more of the game's lore. In the Roblox blog post, Encyclopedia Robloxica, we get an excerpt from the Chronicles of Roblox, Part 8. This chronicle says, "And the secrets of the universe would be inscribed in an arcane language, spoken of only in hushed tones, and known simply as Lua, the tongue of the gods, the vital force underlying all creation. One day it was told that a prophet would come and write a tome that would relate the cryptic ways of Lua to man, that man might learn it and bask in the reflected glory of 2x2. Wow, there's a lot to unpack here. So to begin, what actually is Lua? Well, in our world, Lua is a programming language, which you can code and script with. It was designed by these three people and made in 1993. Roblox uses Lua, more specifically a dialect of Lua called Lua U. So all of the scripting in Roblox uses Lua. From this chronicle, we can see that Lua is canon within the Roblox lore, and it's referred to as the tongue of the gods and the vital force underlying all creation. Now the line, "One day it was told that a prophet would come," makes me believe that the prophet has not come yet, and so no Robloxians know Lua, only the gods do. It being referred to as a vital force makes me think that it's not a language in the traditional sense, but is the makeup of the Robloxian universe. I don't think that it can be written, spoken, or read. It just exists. It's sort of the matter, the atoms, and the binding that holds Roblox together. Similar to how DNA in our world can be referred to as a language. It's not a literal language, you can't write down what it says, but it's a building block of sorts that makes up everything. Or who knows, maybe Lua is a literal language, like it is in real life. After looking over that chronicle again, I think it gives some credence to the Roblox simulation theory. Maybe that really is what Robloxia is, a simulation, and Lua, similar to what it is in our world, is the code and programming that makes up Robloxia. Unfortunately, there isn't much else to pursue this train of thought, so I'll just leave it at that. I don't know if it's just me, but I've really enjoyed making these new discussion videos on my channel. whether it's in regards to the Roblox lore or just anything else in general, like my Google Maps series. I'm going to pass the video over now to my friend Sumi, who's going to talk some more about Roblox lore and give some interesting theories and topics.
Hello, my name is Sumi. I'd personally like to thank James for the opportunity to be featured in this video. I have also been digging deep into the lore of Robloxia itself, and I've been speculating a lot as well. I've come up with new concepts on various features on Robloxia and how they work, and also some speculations here and there. Out of all the things I have researched, I will only talk about 2 speculations and concepts I have made so far. These include the Web of Worlds concept and my speculation on how Rthro came to be. Let's start with that Web of Worlds concept. Considering all the types of games Roblox has to offer, I don't think the Robloxian universe functions like ours. Ever since the creation of the universe, a prophet who has held a greater power, which is most likely Builder-Man, has decided to distribute their world-creating abilities evenly among the people of Robloxia. This came in the form of a language we all know, Lua. The Encyclopedia of Robloxia contained all sorts of information on learning the language. This language would be the building blocks for people to create their own worlds in the infinite universe that is Robloxia. Instead of planets, they are simply just worlds contained inside cubes in Robloxian space. Inside a cube could be anything the creator desires, from an empty baseplate to an expansive world filled with life and adventure. It could be big or small, but these experiences, lore-wise, are sorted via small cubes in Robloxian space, all connected through an infinite large web. They are sorted by genre, so sci-fi worlds would be grouped together. Worlds following the theme of royalty would also be close to each other as well. With the existence of myths such as 1x, 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 1x being canon, it is also possible that myth worlds have their own separate region as well. We can call this the Mythos region. These Web of Worlds concept can be simplified to water droplets on a spider web, which each drop of water representing a world while the spider web just keeps growing and growing. You don't have to take this as canon lore, as it is really just my concept of how the Robloxian universe works. Now, the second topic I'm going to dive into is the creation of Rthro. This was a platform feature that was published somewhere around 2018, and it came with some pretty bad reception. But despite all that, I can see the positives of Rthro bringing more to character customization. Lore-wise though, it seems that the Rthro people, which I'll call Rthroians, have been living among us for a long while now. This is pretty evident in the first Rthro package to be released publicly, which is a Knights of Redcliffe one. To add, the Knights of Redcliffe have been a long-standing clan, and a Paladin, which is the rank for a trusted military leader, being introduced out of nowhere wouldn't make sense. The existence of Rthroians can be dated to around 1,000 years ago, long before Robloxia was formed. This could be clear in the official Roblox Toys website. Specifically the description of a Crystello toy. Me and James have discussed whether or not Crystello could have been born during Nothing and Lights viewed with each other. We both had separate theories. James' theory was that Crystello was born during Nothing and Lights battle, and mine as well complicated. To me, Crystello was actually made before Robloxia's creation. Why? Well, we'd have to turn to the lore of a sort of it, the egg hunts. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sumi, the egg hunts have different lore. Are you nuts? So I'm just gonna say that this speculation works if you consider the egg hunts a parallel universe, as the Eggverse seems to be much like the regular Robloxian universe, except that it revolves around eggs for some reason. The common similarities in mind, the eggs may be reflecting events that our regular universe of Robloxia has endured. The description of the vicious Egg of Singularity reads, "A singularity is a discontinuous point in a manifold. However, this could mean other things. Singularity is a point where mankind has progressed so far where they can't go back. This could also mean extinction. Singularity is also used to describe the center of a black hole. The egg has 2 colors, yellow and, importantly, black, which could symbolize the void. What if this means before the creation of Robloxia, another universe existed in its place? Something greatly terrible must have happened for that universe to disappear. If we look at the Egg of All-Devouring Darkness, its description states that it is the dark of the end of everything. The end of universes, gods, worlds, of everything. This egg in the Eggverse could symbolize a period of time where the void had swallowed every single thing in the previous universe, engulfing everything. And for a long time, there was nothing. Now, How does all this connect to Crystello and the Arthroians? What I'm trying to say is Crystello was what remained of a previous universe, and at the time where everything was swallowed by the void, against all odds, he managed to survive in space. Crystello was made of flowing crystals, which may indicate that he possessed the ability to wander Robloxian space without dying. Arthroians have existed for a long time, even before the creation of Robloxia itself. But all Arthroians in the Robloxian universe must have their roots in Crystello, the god of crystals, due to previous events that wiped out their previous ancestors. Crystello remained in the dark for a long time, watching the universe grow and grow. The presence of Arthroians was barely recognized until a point of time where the blocking Robloxians realized, hey, there are people that don't look like us at all. Although shamed, ignored, and even hated for their differences, Arthroians had an impact in the Robloxian universe for a long time. For example, the many Arthroian gods that exist, especially Udsau, as he had involvement in the core block's death speakers for a long time. And with these events in mind,